actually, it was just about 7 months ago, I guess, or so, that I started work for the first time, and knew who you were, and I was like, shit, this is really good. Come here, Hillary, tell me about it. Like, am I seeing things? Is this right? And so, and right away we set this in motion. So thanks for agreeing to do it, and thank you, Toby.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Bradley and I did a studio visit maybe a month and a half ago, kind of coincidentally, and we started talking, and I'm flattered and happy to be here. And among the things that we talked about, the first of them was the arch. What is the arch for you?
For me, it first and foremost, it started from paintings I had done for the thesis show, and it was hidden behind a fish tank. And it happens often where I'll paint something and kind of just a little bit of something, and I want to see more of that. And so I wanted to take that arch and from the painting I couldn't see a lot of, and use it as a device to include different types of imagery. Like none of the paintings in here are really too similar, and so it was really ended up being first and foremost a device for approaching like a solo show, a painting show. But it's obviously there's more to it than that. It's a really versatile shape. I was able to do a lot with it in terms of creating paintings. Just that the playing with the archway as something you can look through or something that blocks view was just sort of a fruitful investigation for me.
We talked, and I immediately thought of Giorgio de Chirico. I just grabbed this book with these arches. De Chirico was maybe a kind of, well, he was some say a vulgar Nietzschean. Nietzsche kind of lost his mind in Turin, which is famous for these porticos and arches, and Nietzsche would thought he could see the other side, the kind of Platonic ideals beyond reality, and he painted these arches over and over again. And somehow, for me, I was kind of cast in this almost philosophical state of mind, looking out at something.
Right.
And where are you? And then this is such a trope too in Renaissance portraiture, where a figure will often be in an arch with their arm, in the foreground, and this sort of arched window over them.
Right. Yeah. Also, sort of, these all came about a really transitional period. Again, it kind of goes back to that passage of the time, sort of, kind of was that a walkway, walking through something, going through these different life experiences, all in a quick succession.
It was Benjamin, the arcades, and so I started seeing this kind of cascade of things, and underneath the archways is Gilbert and George's song they always sang, underneath the arches, and underneath the railroad overpass, viaducts, all these things. So the roots of this go back to antiquity, and I love it. And I think I asked you this. I think I've been here. This is there's a place in Kima that looks like this. Where you're on a patio, and you're looking at the palm trees, and there's the water there.
Yeah, but I never noticed so many arches until I started painting them, and just realized they're everywhere. And Houston has a lot of really good ones.
Rice University is.
Yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, it's a like you said, it goes back forever. More or less.
We started talking too about realism in these palm trees. And what was the great quote that your friend said about these palm trees?
Do you remember?
Sincere?
Sincere.
Or
like
friendly palm trees. Yeah, it's kind of.
They're characters.
They're characters. Yeah, and I did. Again, sorry, this is the last of my show and tells, but I tried to find it with the H.C. Westerman thing, these little palm trees recur over and over again. It's See America First. To I'm sorry, I can't turn off the pseudomorphism. One thing looks like something, it reminds you of it, you go back to it.
Yeah, yeah.
But we talked about these paintings as having a kind of friendly, kind of user-friendly aspect, great appeal that way. Another thing we talked about was David Hockney and kind of two styles of representation going on. We did a very tight line drawing, but then sitting next to the subject of the portrait would be an iris plant. It would be done in two quick strokes of wash or something like that. And two things going at once, two different representational styles. And I see that going on. I mean, these things also are abstract paintings, vaguely reminiscent of Ellsworth Kelly and this kind of tangent curve thing, where a shape is kind of kissing a straight line and arc that way. It's a neat device to get kind of simultaneity going.
Right. Yeah, it was good. It was a nice, again, the template or like the format of like having this arch. You know, these three paintings are all the exact same like measurements and layout. It's nice. It was a good way for me to. I'm still trying to make sense of all these paintings are also new, but a good way to, like you said, include different types of representation. They are like they can be viewed as like abstract paintings, and then also some direct observational studies going on. I like that mix, sort of being able to write a line that way is something I try to get close to that as possible.
I was talking to my friend and colleague Allison too. We talked about the viewpoint of being the, how did you say it, Allison?
Well, there's the arch and the architectural are also a separation, and so there's a kind of desire to enter and a barrier. That there's this paradise offered, but you're locked out of it in a certain way. The viewer's space is not the space of the painting, and it's a device that you find, of course, in the sacred art and the arch in Renaissance painting, whether Northern or Italian, as the device that separates you from the sacred world of the nativity or whatever is happening.
Right.
Are you thinking about any of this?
Just, I mean, maybe vaguely. I mean, not really trying to set these up to be like making them the objects underneath the arch would be a focus per se. They obviously kind of end up being that, but yeah, there's lots of like there's walls, there's the chain link fence. There's a lot of them have that sort of like inviting and like they're like no, you can't enter. There's a bit of a barrier in the way of them.
The good life is just beyond reach, or you're sort of glimpsing it as you're walking down the hallway.
Right, it's this little flash. Yeah.
Would you say that's part of the nature of Houston? You know, that we have this green city, but actually very little public space.
Yeah.
And you're constantly going around the city where, over the hedge, or through the doorway.
Right, things you can't quite, places you can't quite get to.
Well, I moved here kind of more or less from San Diego. It kind of looks the same. You're in your car. You want to jump out and embrace it, and then you start melting on the way to that here. And when I lived in a high-rise, well, I wasn't outside by 10:30 in the summer. I would never go outside because it looked nice, but you knew it was just all the time.
Right. Dangerous.
Yeah.
Not as inviting or receptive as it is